All right, let's go ahead and do a little walkthrough and I'll show you everything that's going on. Starting with the first part of it, HD tent. I'm trying to get this video the best I can. I'm kind of new at this, so we'll see what we're saying. On the Rainfly, the biggest thing that I found out on the back side when I had my little fish box on there really wasn't enough room. You kind of had to pre-bend the rods a little bit to get them into the slots they go in the back side for the Rainfly, and that was cool. Another thing that I found out that I had to play with when I worked on this was the spacing on the tent. So you've got a 5-foot bed, and now the other Ranger has the 6-foot bed, and that extra foot makes a difference. And all the photographs that I looked at, you looked at the spacing of the rack here and here, it was really close together. And even the pictures they had in the catalog were really close together, and it didn't really dawn on me until I actually had to mount the tent, because I wanted to mount it in a rear facing configuration, so I'd have to take 3 parking spots to be able to set this stuff up. Didn't work out that way because you only had like 28 inches across the beams where the mounting brackets go on the underside of the tent. That's what these things are right here. These mounting brackets and everything else on this, the spacing and configuration was wrong, and it didn't give you enough to be able to mount those with the crossbars, because the crossbars don't go that narrow. So that was one of the problems that I found that I had. So I had to go with this configuration. That's the reason why everybody I've seen with the tent had it in this configuration. Makes sense. The other thing I found out they don't really tell you, Yakima doesn't, is that when you do these HD sidebars, if you've got the 5-foot bed, you've got to take them apart, and you got to take the extra 6-inch extension out of them, or they won't fit on there because they're too big. So that's a plus on my part. I figured that one out, and well, that was okay. Now the retract tonneau cover, I like the system on it and everything, and you got to make sure you get the right Yakima brackets and everything for that. I got the axe mounts, or the top water mounts for that. Like you see the axe on that one, and you see the fishing net on that one. Just trying to keep everything modularized and everything else. And you get the Hobie kayak, and it fits right back in there, and they got straps on the side of the truck to hold everything down, and over the top on the back side, and that works pretty good. And then over here on this side, we're looking at it, you got the top water box, and then you've got the Slim Shady, all right, and it gives you a nice little setup on everything and make sure everything's configured the right way and everything. And you can see with the tent there, like you can kind of tell by looking at it, they're kind of the rods are a little bit bent. That might be me. I might have to bend them a little bit better next time, but that's that one. And then walking around on the Ranger, you can see everything else, and I've got my sunshades in and everything, keeping them nice and clean in there. But this is the walk around, just kind of looking at everything. And now let's go ahead and take a look inside the tent, and you can actually see how much room is in there. A lot of people have shown this already, but I'm not so much sure if anybody else has. So up the ladder we go, and let's get this situated, and then we'll zip it out. And there is pull downs on that, but that's the room you've got in there. You've got quite a bit of room. I'm hoping this comes out. And this one sleeps 2 people. This is the HD small. And so I was sleeping in here by myself, pretty comfortable. The flies go up on all the sides. The sunroof and everything else is on top. You can see the plexiglass and everything else up there, or the plastic up there and everything. And nice breeze all the way through the tent. Sleeping quality was great. Comfort, no back pain when I woke up. So that in itself was a plus. So as far as the Ranger goes, got quite a bit of gear in here, so it's kind of messy, excuse me. As far as the Ranger goes, that's my next change of clothes there. Looking at this one over here, got the back seat. I got gear all through there, and so I think about 2 people would be perfect. Now if I was doing a bigger thing of towing a boat, and I was going out to the lake and I didn't need all this gear, I could put all that gear in the boat and then tow it. I think it'd be a better deal for everybody else involved. That way I can carry a few buddies, a couple kids, or do everything else. The towing capacity on the truck is 6,500 pounds, and it works out pretty good. In this configuration, I'm using the T-bone extend mount, and I've got everything there. And my biggest concern with this, being a kayak guy wanting to get out to some places where I could go when everything was, you know, not really accessible, was locking stuff up when I'm not in my truck. And so that's the reason why I went with the retracts and the Yakima with the locks. There's locks on the tent can't come off, it's locked up. The rod box is locked, it mounts down from the top, so you can't get to the mounting bolts, and then it's got a lock on there, and that holds 8 rods. Slim Shady, it's locked on too. The rack system's locked on. That's what these locks are right here. And you can order a couple more if you wanted to, and put them on the other side, switch out the bolts over there if you wanted to put another one, but 2 is sufficient. Axe mount's locked. The net over there on that side's locked. So this locks right here from the retracts right here, and then that opens and closes, clears the kayak, which is really good. And then you've got the mounting, 6 mounting screws in there and stuff like that. And the other thing that a lot of people don't know, on your Ford truck, there's plastic mounting caps that are in the back side. They give you access, because you need access for the drain holes for the tonneau cover. The best way that I found to do that was like take like a scribe or something. After you've installed your bed liner carpet, bed rug carpet, is to poke through that and then look down through the space, and you can see if you got it centered in there. And then when you've got it centered in the right spot, then go ahead and just drill it and punch it through with the hoses. I'll probably show that on another video on how I did that. But there is drains on that, and those drain outside the truck, so that's pretty cool. But that's my setup, and that's the whole Ranger base camp. Thanks.